everyone, and I hope that everyone can see me and hear me. Welcome to America's Heroes Group, a live digital media show. And we come on every week. My name is Ernesto Borges. I'm an attorney for some 40 years. I'll be celebrating 40 years next month, but I'm also a Vietnam veteran. And we're going to talk a little bit about some legal things a little later. But first, we want to talk about some veterans things. And having been a veteran, and I'm actually a 100% disabled veteran, so I get some benefits and also get a little compensation, which is very comes in very handy. I go to the Veterans Administration. I was probably there 3 times in the last week, but I'm a little concerned because services are cutting back a little bit. I had to wait quite a bit longer than I usually have had to wait in the past. Some of the things that are happening in our country, they're threatening to fire, 80,000 people who work for the Veterans Administration, which is a little concerning. I mean, if you think about our government in general, about 20% of the people who work for the government are veterans. Most of them don't work for the Congress. I don't think they have 20% in the Congress, but the general population, about 20% of us. So we want to keep our jobs. We've served our country well, and they're cutting back on the services, and it's a shame. Now, some people get benefits. I get benefits, but there's some things that I don't like. If you don't have 100%, you get no dental care at all. You can't even get your teeth cleaned unless you're 100% disabled. So there's some things that need to be changed in the Veterans Administration. And it's a shame that some of the people who never served the country are some of the people who are making the big decisions about how veterans are going to be treated. And that is, it's a shame. This past weekend, this past Saturday, I lost a very dear friend who's an attorney. And he had this disease called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, where his lungs just weren't absorbing the oxygen. And he sat there in the hospital, and it was really tragic to me that he was an officer in the Army, but oxygen, he couldn't get oxygen to survive. And they reduced his oxygen, and he died the next day. And the VA wouldn't accept him. He was at Advocate Illinois Masonic Hospital. The VA had no room for him, which is absurd. But those are some of the things that we're facing. We need to stay on our legislators to make sure that they protect us. The court system needs to protect veterans, veterans who are active duty, those who have served, and even those who work there, because people who work at the Veterans Administration serve the veterans. They may not be veterans themselves, but they service us as veterans. We want to protect their jobs also. Now, insofar as I said, I've been an attorney for 40 years. And if anybody needs benefits that are not getting benefits, please call me because I have some very good attorneys that will help you to get veterans benefits just in case you're being denied those. I was in combat. I was exposed to Agent Orange. I got a Purple Heart, all of that, brown stars. So it was maybe a little easier for me to get benefits because I was, in fact, exposed to a carcinogen. But that being said, I am a lawyer, and I'd like to talk to you about some legal matters. I have a firm called Borges and Wu. Actually, had the largest black-owned bankruptcy firm. I don't say just black-owned, but minority-owned bankruptcy firm in the country at one time. That's now no longer the case, but I still have a lot of clients, and I've serviced over hundreds of thousands of people, and there are, can help you with veterans matters. I can help you with all kinds of cases, whether it's bankruptcy. Of course, I've done a lot of bankruptcies. You're trying to buy some real estate, I can do that for you. Or if, at this point in life, I'm 77 years old and I'm getting up there, and I have a lot of friends who need help with estates and estate planning and preparing for that next step in their life as they transition out sometimes. And so I get a lot of calls about people who want to have powers of attorney done, or they might want to they want to prepare a will, trust, something like that. So We can help veterans, and I give veterans discounts, if you need any assistance in that. Sometimes, as we get near to the December of our lives, there are things that we need to take care of, and we need to make sure that we protect and we look forward to have forward looking to instead of just waiting to the last minute. Set yourself up, do your estate planning, protect your assets. Let's have generational wealth amongst our people. So I can help you in many ways in doing those things also. So if you're having hard times, you need to file a bankruptcy, you can come see me. If you've had an injury, you want to come see me. If you need some veterans benefits that you're not being treated properly, come see me. If you need to work out something for your estate and later in life, or you're passing on, you want to make sure that you leave things in order. You can also see me. I'm doing a lot of real estate closings lately, and that's another way of us building generational wealth is to buy homes, buy property, leave them in a certain way so they don't necessarily have to go to probate court. You can set things up so they pass down the line generational wealth that many of us have been deprived of having. A lot of us didn't get that 40 acres and a mule, and we didn't get anything but a poke in the eye for some of us. So, it's time to start thinking, and it's time to be smart and to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. I mean, if you want to get a home, use your veterans benefits. A lot of people, I go there to the VA and I see all the booklets and so forth, and a lot of services that are there for veterans are unused. Many of us don't use them, and we should use them because they may not always be there. There are powers that be that are trying to take our privileges away, trying to take our freedom away. They're trying to take various benefits that we are entitled to. And so I would, advise you and behoove you. It would behoove you to move on that now rather than later. Sometimes we get into this procrastination mood and we say, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, and sometimes tomorrow never comes. So, pick up the phone. My number is 312-853-0200. I'm in Chicago, but I know attorneys all over the country. If you happen to be in another jurisdiction, another state, what have you, you can give me a call. I can normally refer you to someone in another state. Should you need somebody in, say, in California, Arizona, what have you, New York. I know people all over the place, and certainly if you're in Chicagoland, where I am, just give us a call. I advertise under the name of Bill Busters. It's just a little easier, and it was a name that I used when I was doing a lot of bankruptcies. We busted bills, if you will. So that's one way of remembering Bill Busters, and I got that from like Ghostbusters, and I said, well, I'll come up with something clever, Bill Busters. But come in and see me. I wasn't always 100%. I was 70%, then 80%. And then they changed the rules a little bit, and they decided that they should take into consideration combat veterans who were exposed to carcinogens and dangerous chemicals and so forth. And so then I got involved because one time I just wasn't involved in Veterans Affairs in terms of benefits for me. But don't pass up those benefits. And if you need any kind of legal help, I have a firm. I'm not a sole practitioner. I have other attorneys that help me. I have 4 offices in Chicago, in downtown Chicago, south side of Chicago, and the suburban 2 offices in suburban Chicago. So we've got a good firm, and veterans need to stick together. We need to support each other in so many ways. I always go and speak to the veterans anytime that I have the opportunity, anytime that I'm asked to speak regarding veterans or their affairs or the things that we can do as attorneys, especially legal matters that some people just aren't familiar with. I'm familiar with a lot of the issues. So, I myself, I'm going to see the dentist on Friday. And sometimes you have to get rough with them. I went to the VA and they didn't want to, they couldn't do what I needed, and I needed to go outside of the VA. They will pay for it, but they have to approve it. And I had to go up there and like get rough with the dentist at the VA and let them know you need to take care of this. You need to refer me because sometimes you have to go outside of the VA to get the services you need. But I know all of those, a lot of things that you might not be familiar with. So give me a call. Again, my name is Ernesto Borges, Borges, and I've done everything from practicing in criminal law, representing people who've gotten in trouble. And we have some programs here in Illinois that are especially designed for veterans who get in trouble. Sometimes veterans get in trouble and they take a bad step, a misstep here and there, and they have certain programs to help veterans who have been, especially those who've been in combat, those who are suffering from PTSD and other ailments. You know, they should be given a little special consideration. And maybe I'm a little biased in that regard, but they should be given some special. And the courts do that. They do that. They say this person has served their country. This person has been exposed to certain conditions and circumstances that the average civilian has not. So if you get in trouble with the courts in that regard, you can call me also. I don't practice in that area as much as I used to. I used to be exclusively a criminal defense attorney. But so in 40 years, I've done it all from divorces and landlord tenant and criminal and bankruptcies and foreclosure defense and personal injury. I've done and practiced in a lot of different areas. So I say I'm a wealth of knowledge. I may not be the greatest in all areas, but there are some areas that I'm pretty proficient in, and I certainly have other attorneys in my firm to help me. But I'm out here if you need me. Again, my number is 312-853-0200. And if you forget that, just think of Bill Busters. Think of Ghostbusters, billbusters.com. We have a website there, and you can go there and visit us. But you know, we have to be not just laid back. We have to be participants. Even though you know some of us were in combat, some of us served in non-combat areas, but we've served, and we need to have the benefits that are out there for us. Some people don't, there are people who said, I don't have any regard for even POWs, people who've been prisoners of war. There are many of us out there, and I've known some prisoners of war. I knew one guy who was actually in Vietnam. He got captured and they put him in a hole and buried him alive up to his neck. And he finally came home like in 1973. And he had some suffering, but you don't always have to go through combat to suffer. It's quite those of you who've been in the service and gone through basic training and and I used to be a sergeant also. I was a basic training sergeant when I came back from Vietnam. So that whole conversion. But if you need me, call me. I'm Attorney Ernesto Borges. And thanks for joining us here, right here on America's Heroes Guild. We started this some time ago with Cliff Kelly and Glenda Smith and Manny, who helps us with all the technical issues. But make sure that you tune in. We've always got a great message for you.
Welcome
We've always
to
got
AHG
information
Connects,
to give you.
where voices, information, and
I'm not here.
resources
Somebody
are
else will be here.
empowered
Maybe I'll come back
intentionally.
on another day and visit with you. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us. And tell your friends, tell your family, you need help. Call me. Call me here in Chicago. All right, I'm here for you, and I do a lot of pro bono work. If you're short on cash and you need help, I will help you in that regard also. So I don't know.
Welcome
That's the
to
show,
AHG
and everyone
Connects,
can.
where
Wait,
voices,
everybody can see me. We had a
information,
little
and
technical difficulty
resources
at first.
are
But
empowered